The story you're about to hear is an unofficial fan-made work inspired by Bob's Burgers. It is not endorsed by the network or creators. This is a dark, fictional reimagining, created for fun, not profit. Entry 7. Dear Cannibal Diary. Sunday is brighter. Not bright, just brighter. Like the sun remembered it's supposed to try. On the seventh day, the fog rested. Sort of. The gray is thinner on Sundays. You can almost see where the sky should be. Pale instead of charcoal. Milk instead of ash. The neon sign hums differently too. Almost hopeful. Like it's in on the secret that Sundays matter in ways the other days forgot how to. Dad is already at the grill when I come downstairs. The spatula is moving in that rhythm that means everything is normal even when it's not. Salt going on like prayer beads. He's prepping for the Sunday rush. People know. They always know. Sundays mean the tide came in. Linda is warming up her voice in the corner. She does scales before the big hymns. Today she's testing a new one, something about harvest and grace and standing in line for blessings. Her voice is strong and a little off. That's the power. Off means honest. Off means we're still human and not already dead. Gene is at the window with his pan collection, watching the fog thin. Sunday shine, he announces to nobody. The fog's on its best behavior. Must have gone to church. The fog doesn't go to church. It didn't believe in God, Louise says from the door. She's already in her knife apron, bunny ears sharp against the pale morning. That's dark, sweetie, Linda says, but she's smiling. It's Sunday, Louise says. Beach run, tide's in. The room goes quiet for a second. Then everybody moves. Every Sunday, bodies wash up on the shore. Nobody knows why. Mort says it's the currents. Louise says it's the fog giving back what it took. Jean says it's the ocean's way of saying you're welcome in a language made of corpses. Linda says it's providence. Dad doesn't say anything. He just preps extra patties. The fog gives back. That's the theory. The ocean doesn't keep everything forever. It spits some of it back on Sundays, twisted and strange, dressed in clothes from eras that don't line up. Like the fog reached into different times and shook them loose. Bob stays at the grill. Always. That's the rule. If Dad leaves the altar, the whole thing collapses. Linda stays to prep the dining room for the Sunday rush. Jean stays to guard and play the pan drum welcome when we return. Jimmy Jr. is upstairs, still asleep probably, in Jean's room. The crew for today: me, Louise, Teddy, Mort, and Rudy. I grab the ledger from the register, tuck it under my arm like a prayer book. I take 2 mints from the jar by Kuchikopi and put them in my pocket. Kuchikopi sits there with no light inside him, but I rub his head anyway for luck. Teddy is already outside with the flatbed dolly and 2 hand trucks. He's checking the wheels like they're tires on a car that has to get us across a country that doesn't exist anymore. For Bob, he mutters to himself. For Bob. For the grill. For the line. Mort appears from next door with his checklist and a coil of rope. He taps the list with a pencil stub. 43 last week. If the tide's the same, we'll need both trucks and the flatbed. What if it's bigger? Rudy asks. He's wearing his blue scarf today, the one that makes his eyes look less tired. Then we make 2 trips, Louise says. She doesn't look at Rudy when she says it, but her voice is softer than usual. Louise likes Rudy. She would kill me if I said it out loud, but it's true. She protects him with logistics and violence. We tie the rope harnesses around our ribs, the kind that clip to the dolly handles so if the fog gets thick, we don't lose the load. Louise checks each knot like she's tying a noose for the fog itself. Let's move, she says. The walk to the shore. We follow the rope lines strung between buildings. The fog is thinner on Sundays, but it's still there. still gray, still tasting like pennies and wet metal when you breathe too deep. The lamplighter bell rings somewhere to our left. Teddy hums under his breath, one of Linda's hymns, the one about Greece being a miracle. Mort recites his checklist like a psalm. Clothing, wallets, photos, jewelry, teeth, and bones for meal. Rudy walks close to me, not touching, but close. I can hear his breathing, steady, controlled. The way someone breathes when they've practiced not panicking. "You okay?" I ask. "Yeah," he says. "Just thinking." "About what?" "About how weird it is that this is normal now." I don't have an answer for that, so I just nod. Louise leads us through the wharf. I think about hot dogs in summer. Then I stop thinking about it because thinking about summer makes the fog taste worse. The sound of the ocean gets louder. Not waves, just presence. Like the water is breathing. Arrival at the beach. The Sunday shine is real here. The fog is so thin I can almost see the line where the water meets the sky. Pale gray on paler gray, like someone sketched the horizon with a pencil and forgot to erase the guidelines. The ocean is louder on Sundays, like it's trying to communicate. The waves sound deliberate, purposeful, and then I see the bodies. They're scattered across the sand like driftwood, dozens of them, some face down, some face up, some twisted in shapes that don't make sense. Arms bent backward, spines curved wrong, faces frozen mid-scream. Dressed in clothes from different eras, a man in a 1920s suit, complete with suspenders and a pocket watch still attached to his vest. A woman in a 1950s house dress, floral print faded to gray. A teenager in a 1980s track jacket with stripes down the sleeves. A figure in a Victorian gown, all lace and buttons and wrought. Some are fresh, some are waterlogged, some are skeletal. None of them are from our town. They're strangers. The fog brings them from elsewhere. The ocean fog doesn't care about time, Mort says quietly. He's standing at the edge of the tide, looking at a body half buried in the sand. It keeps everything, and then it gives it back when it wants to. Louise is already moving. Mort, triage. Teddy, start loading. Rudy, pockets. Tina, ledger. Let's go. We move like we've practiced this, because we have. Then we meet. Tammy. I'm writing down a description. Man in tuxedo, 1940s, face obscured, left hand missing. When I hear a voice. "Hey, can I help?" I look up. Tammy Larson is standing at the edge of the tide line, thin as a rope, holding her arms like she's cold. Tammy. My rival friend. My bully. Head cheerleader energy. Popular girl aggression. The girl who made 3 years of middle school feel like a very long audition I kept failing. But this isn't that Tammy. This Tammy is quiet. Her hair is tangled. Her clothes are too big. Her eyes are different, softer, but also emptier. Like someone turned the volume down on her personality and forgot to turn it back up. "Tammy?" I say. She nods. "Hey, Tina." Not mean. Not sarcastic. Just there. Louise is next to me immediately. Knife apron unclipped. Ready. "What are you doing here?" Louise asks. Her voice is flat. "I've been sleeping under the pier," Tammy says. She doesn't look at Louise. She looks at me. My block got fog-locked for weeks. We couldn't get out. The fog just stayed, pressed against the windows, seeped under the doors. My mom tried to keep us inside, tried to ration the food. But the fog got in anyway. She stops. Her hands are shaking. "Everyone died but me," she says. "I don't know why. I woke up one morning and the fog was gone and everyone else was not." Mort steps forward. clinical, gentle. When? 2 weeks ago. You've been alone for 2 weeks? I've been at the docks, helping unload barges, sleeping under the pier, eating whatever people give me. She looks at Louise. I heard you guys come here on Sundays. I thought maybe I could help. Louise looks at her for a long time. Then she looks at me. I don't know what to say. Tammy bullied me. Tammy made me cry. Tammy called me weird and awkward and said my voice sounded like a boy going through puberty in reverse. But Tammy is also thin and shaking and alone. She can help, I say. Louise's eyebrow does its thing. The half-millimeter thing that means she sees everything and will deal with it later. Fine, Louise says. She points at the flatbed. You work with Tina. You lift what she lifts. You don't wander off. You don't ask questions. You don't slow us down. Tammy nods. Thank you. Louise walks away. Mort follows. Teddy gives Tammy a small wave that's half friendly, half wary. Rudy doesn't say anything. He just looks at me, then looks at Tammy, then goes back to checking pockets. Tammy and I stand there for a second. I'm sorry, she says, for before, for being the way I was. You don't have to. I know, but I am. She wipes her hands on her jeans. I was scared. Of everything. And I made that your problem. That was shitty. I don't know what to say to that either, so I just nod. Come on, I say. Let's get to work. Processing begins. Mort moves through the bodies like a priest performing last rites. This one, yes. That one, too far gone. Skip the bones, check the torso. This one's fresh, less than a week. Teddy drags bodies to the flatbed, crying softly, saying, for Bob, under his breath. He's a two-weather system person. Crying and working. Grief and purpose. He's good at both. Rudy checks pockets, wallets, photos, anything that might tell us who they were. He finds a library card from a town I've never heard of, a driver's license from 1987, a photo of a dog named Prince. He hands me the photo and I tuck it into the ledger. I write descriptions. Woman in blue dress, 1960s, no identification, wedding ring on left hand. Man in tuxedo, 1940s, face obscured, pocket watch stopped at 3:47. Tammy works next to me. She's methodical, clinical, not squeamish. We lift the woman in the blue dress together. Her body is heavy and cold and wrong in the way dead things are wrong. Our hands touch while we're positioning her on the flatbed. Tammy doesn't pull away. I always thought you were cool, she says quietly. I almost dropped the body. What? You. I always thought you were cool. I was just, I don't know, scared to say it. I stare at her. You bullied me for 3 years. I know. She adjusts her grip on the woman's legs. I was scared of a lot of things. Scared of not being popular. Scared of people finding out I didn't actually know what I was doing. Scared of liking people I wasn't supposed to like. We set the woman down on the flatbed. Tammy wipes her hands on her jeans. I'm not asking you to forgive me, she says. Just, I see you now. Really see you. And I think you're cool. The fog rolls in and out like breath. The ocean sounds like it's listening. Okay, I say. We keep working. We move to the next body. A man in a tuxedo, 1940s style, with a boutonniere in his lapel that's somehow still intact. He's heavy. Heavier than he looks. We lift together. My fingers brush hers. She doesn't flinch. We carry him to the flatbed. Set him down carefully. Mort nods approval. Tammy wipes her hands on her jeans again, then offers one to me. Partners? She says. I look at the hand. It's thin, dirty, shaking slightly. I take it. We shake. It lasts 2 seconds longer than it should. Her palm is warm. Partners, I say. While the others finish loading, Tammy and I walk the waterline. The fog is curling at the edge of the waves like it's playing. The sand is cold and wet under my boots. Tammy talks. About her mom. About Jocelyn, her best friend, who died in the fog lock holding a stuffed animal she'd had since she was 6. About waking up alone in a house full of bodies and not knowing what to do. I used to think being popular mattered, she says. Like, really mattered. Like if people didn't like me, I'd disappear. But then everyone actually disappeared and I was still here. And I realized, I don't know, that maybe the only thing that matters is who you'd want to hold hands with when the fog comes. She stops walking, looks at me. Can I hold your hand? I don't say anything. I just hold out my hand. She takes it. We stand there on a beach of corpses, holding hands, watching the gray waves roll in and out. The fog thins even more. For a second, just a second, I think I can see a sliver of blue sky. This is the weirdest romance of my life, I say out loud. Tammy laughs. Actually, laughs. It sounds rusty, like she hasn't used it in a while. Also maybe the realist, I add. She squeezes my hand. We stand there for another minute. Then we hear Louise yell, "Tina! Tammy! We're loaded!" As we turn back toward the crew, Tammy stops. "Can I kiss you?" she asks. I freeze. Here? If not here, where? I look around. At the bodies. At the fog. At the ocean that brought them. At the crew loading the flatbed with meat for the basement. At the gray sky that's brighter today than it was yesterday. Okay, I say. The kiss is soft. Quick. It tastes like salt and fog and something else I can't name. Something that might be hope. It's tender. Grounded. Not melodramatic. When we pull apart, Louise is watching from the flatbed. Her eyebrow is doing its thing. Tammy and I walk back, still holding hands. Nobody says anything, but Rudy goes very quiet. The flatbed is stacked high with bodies, covered in tarps. The hand trucks are loaded with bones, clothes, shoes, anything useful. Mort does a final count. 43 viable, 12 skeletons, enough for a week if we're careful. We tie everything down with rope. Teddy and Mort take the front of the flatbed. Louise and Rudy push from the sides. Tammy and I take the back. The push begins. It's heavy, slow, a procession, funereal and triumphant at the same time, like a funeral march mixed with a harvest parade. We're bringing death home, but we're also bringing food. We're carrying bodies, but we're also carrying survival. Gene's pan drum rhythm echoes from blocks away. He's marking our return. The sound cuts through the fog like a heartbeat. Linda's hymn floats toward us. Something about plenty and providence and the grace of salt. Her voice is strong and a little off. The fog parts for us. Not completely, but enough. Like it approves. Tammy stares at me the whole walk home. Not aggressive, not shy, just present. I feel it. I don't look back. My face burns. I wonder if this is what love feels like in the fog world, heavy and slow and strange and honest. Rudy notices. He goes quiet, pushes harder, doesn't look at me. As we near the restaurant, I see the crowd. The alley is full of people. Dozens, maybe 100, waiting for Sunday meat. They line the walls, press against the fog, silent, hungry, hopeful. They know what we're bringing. They always know. We push the flatbed through the crowd. People step back to let us pass. Some touch the tarp like it's holy. Some weep quietly. One old woman whispers, "Bless the tide. Bless the Belchers." I see familiar faces. Hugo with his clipboard. Mr. Fishoder, leaning on his cane, smiling that smile that says he invented mercy and expects rent for it. Families holding hands, kids pressed against their parents' legs. They're all waiting. Louise leads us to the basement door. Jimmy Jr. is at the top of the basement stairs. I see him sometimes in the mornings, stretching by the window, warming up his dancer legs. He sees me, sees Tammy, sees our hands, which we dropped when we entered the alley, but the ghost of the touch is still there. His face does something complicated. The basement door opens. Mort and Teddy unload. Bodies disappear down the stairs. One by one, the sound of work being done. Water running. The clinical efficiency of survival. I never watch. I just write in the ledger. Update the count. Add descriptions. Tuck photos between pages. Tammy does watch. Doesn't flinch. Doesn't look away. I can help, she says to Louise. Louise considers. Nods. Next week. As they finish unloading, the crowd presses closer. Not violent, just present, hungry, hopeful. Bob appears in the alley door with a tray of free fresh burgers. The smell cuts through the fog like a promise, like proof that we're still alive. First batch, he says. Sunday free special. People line up. Orderly. Grateful. They know the rules. Linda appears behind him, singing. Gene plays his pan drum. The Sunday rush begins. The light is dim inside. The neon hum is louder than usual, like it's celebrating. I sit at the register with the ledger open. Write today's entry. Sunday, entry 7. Tide brought 43. 12 skeletons. Met Tammy at the beach. She's different now. We held hands on a beach of corpses. I let her. She kissed me. I kissed back. This is the weirdest romance of my life. Also, maybe the realest. I draw a small wave in the margin. Then I draw a hand. Then I draw another hand holding it. Tammy sits at a booth, waiting. She's eating a double burger Bob made her, because Bob saw her thin arms and her tired eyes and decided she was family now. That's how it works here. You show up enough times, you're family. And Bob feeds family. Jimmy Jr. is at another booth, stretching his calves, watching. His face is still doing that complicated thing. He's my normal crush. The one I've had since before the fog. The one with the perfect butt and the dancer legs and the way he says hey like it's a secret just for me. But Tammy held my hand on a beach of corpses. And Rudy is at the grow house, not looking through the window. Rudy, who rides the bikes and checks the batteries and walks close to me without asking for anything. Rudy, who Louise would kill for. Rudy, who I think I might love in a way that's quieter than Jimmy Jr., but also deeper. I'm 18. The fog is 5. I'm keeping 3 crushes alive like contraband candles, and I don't know what to do with any of them. I close the ledger. Look at Tammy. She smiles. Small. Real. The kind of smile that costs something to make. Same time next Sunday? She asks. Yeah, I say. The fog presses against the glass. The line outside is still long. Bob flips patties. Linda sings. Jean plays. Sunday is over. But it'll come again. Dear Cannibal Diary, the ocean gave us 43 bodies and 1 person back from the dead. Tammy Larson held my hand where corpses wash up and asked if she could kiss me, and I said yes because, if not there, where? The fog is brighter on Sundays. Not bright, just brighter. Like it's trying. We're trying too. T.